arrived in New York City Harbor, I think around like the 28th of March, 2020. So that was right at the beginning. I had just gotten back from a previous mission. I'd gotten back the day before Thanksgiving. I was home for a couple of weeks and I just really started working back at my normal job in my normal hospital. And I got a text message from the commander from this previous mission that I was still kind of assigned to that group with, saying that we were getting tasked to go out again, and this time it was for Indianapolis. I grew up in Fort Wayne, I grew up as a Hoosier, and then before I joined the Navy, I spent about 10 years living in Plainfield, working in Indianapolis. I still have a ton of family in the area, and I really just couldn't pass up the opportunity to come home and help, the community that I grew up in, essentially.
Department of Defense continues to be at Methodist, helping in our incredibly high census times, and they will be here till mid to late February. They've been incredible partners throughout.
It's my 4th COVID mission, 3rd FEMA mission. Since I've got here, I've been working primarily on 80s, or exclusively on 80s, which is mostly COVID, ICU, PCU, overflow floor, primarily with COVID ICU patients. This is my 4th new charting system in the last 2 years. At this point, I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, help me. But there's a handful of people I've gotten to know really well. And honestly, it's one thing I've missed having lived in the DC area for the last 6 years. It's just Hoosier hospitality. Hoosiers just are nice to people. So everybody's been really welcoming and happy to help, happy to have me here, and very open to helping me with whatever I need. I think we're all pretty familiar and comfortable with COVID at this point, as sad as that is to say. At the beginning, it was just so stressful to not know what was best for your patients. And then there's also an aspect of it at the beginning. We weren't used to seeing people with oxygen saturations in the low 70s still talking to you, Under normal circumstances, that's a patient who is in distress and they need help right now. And as COVID's gone along, I think we've all gotten a little more comfortable with, sometimes people are going to be sitting in the 70s and they feel fine. It's become less stressful over time as we've gotten more familiar with the disease and more comfortable with kind of what the progression is. It doesn't really make it any easier in some ways. Maybe you're less distressed seeing a patient in that condition in a way, but you're also kind of more aware of more able to predict where they're going, and when it's not somewhere that you want them to go, that's still kind of hard. It's hard to see people doing poorly. But when I see somebody in their 40s that's ventilated, not getting better, getting worse, that's really hard for me to see. It's very easy for me to say, oh my God, we're essentially the same age, but I can't let myself go down that rabbit hole because I'd never be able to come back out. Everywhere I've gone, I've had at least one bright experience, something I can look back and say, you know what, that was amazing. It was amazing to stand on the deck of the Comfort as we're going by the Statue of Liberty. I've been to some really cool places and met some cool people. Being here in Indiana, really just being able to help the community that raised me, that's very rewarding in and of itself. Hoosiers are some of the best people on the planet, and I'll stick by that to my dying breath. So it has been really wonderful to come home and take care of my neighbors.